For years now, Dr. Tony Lueck has dedicated a big part of his life to helping Vietnam veterans who need it most. Nearly 2 million suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder.
The reality is, I think every veteran who came to Vietnam has suffered from PTSD. There are ranges. PTSD is a moving target. And that target has a set of triggers. And often those triggers are really buried deep in our subconscious.
Finding those hidden triggers is part of Dr. Lueck's healing process.
What happens in the process here, we return to a country where all this trauma took place. Not only do we come to the country, but we take the veteran directly to where they were stationed. Example, one of the veterans, Lance, on this particular trip, we went to Tuy Hoa. We stood on the road in the rice paddy very close to where he was wounded. And that image is now replaced with a Vietnam that is in peace. So one can phase in a positive, calming image as opposed to the negative demon image that was part of the whole combat scene.
A veteran himself, Dr. Lueck offers not only his professional expertise as a psychologist, but also his personal experiences from his own tour of duty during the war as a military advisor. By taking veterans back to Vietnam, Dr. Lueck gives them a chance to experience success instead of guilt and fear.
So all the fears and all the gut-wrenching feelings and all the trauma that an individual may experience in a flashback situation or with abreactions can be replaced with a Vietnam and a culture that is now totally different. And the Vietnam veteran then has the opportunity to see that they're now accepted.
Finding acceptance in Vietnam is not hard. Many times veterans find forgiveness in an unexpected place from the Vietnamese people themselves.
The Vietnamese people look at this war very differently than we do. They call it the American War, and they say, you did your duty just as our soldiers did their duty. Vietnam War is now past history, and what we have left is Vietnam the country and Vietnam the culture. And what better beauty is there for a veteran to return to the United States now and move on with a totally different perspective than they've been able to for the past 35 years.
And remember Lance?
Why?
The veteran who returned to the same rice paddy where he was nearly killed during the war. He was flying over the same field in 1967 when a bullet tore through his left leg.
What's different about that valley now?
I'm not here anymore. The eye that got stuck here with horrible trauma, he's come back to us. This isn't a valley of trauma, it's a valley of beauty. I'm just so grateful to get to see that.
With encouraging words from Tony, Lance takes his first steps onto his long road to emotional recovery.
Just take your time walking out there by yourself.
Standing in a field a half world away, Lance finally finds peace to a painful part of his life.
This is a life-changing event for Lance and for other veterans who participate. And it's a life-changing event because you can deal with trauma and post-traumatic stress that happens in a very, very different way when you're at the site where that trauma occurred. And it's simply a easier way to open that door and allow yourself the freedom to let the fear go and to embrace a whole different way of moving forward.
But moving forward isn't always easy. Along the way, at other stops in Vietnam, painful memories overcome Lance. But Dr. Lueck is there. He and another veteran embrace Lance, offering their support in a way only veterans understand.
You made a choice actually coming on this trip.
This
trip says I'm no longer going to live this way.
I just want to leave, guys. I don't want to go through this.
Shit. Shit. Oh, God. Oh, shit, it's painful. I don't want to go through this, guys.
You can do it.
It's just too much.
You're fine.
It's too much. Oh, shit.
Every one of those feelings are okay.
Oh, thanks.
They're all real.
From a hill with ancient towers, Lance lets go with a cleansing cry. While it may seem harsh exposing veterans to such painful memories, Dr. Luik says it's part of the healing process, replacing old images with new ones, turning Vietnam back into a country and not a war.
What happens in the process here, we return to a country where all this trauma took place. Not only do we come to the country, but we take the veteran directly to where they were stationed. One can phase in a positive, calming image as opposed to the negative demon image that was part of the whole combat scene. So all the fears and all the gut-wrenching feelings and all the trauma that an individual may experience in a flashback situation or with ab reactions can be replaced with a Vietnam and a culture that is now totally different.
Another aspect of a return trip to Vietnam is helping the Vietnamese. Veterans bring much needed medical supplies, food, even money to a number of different places like orphanages, homes for the disabled and elderly, even a leprosy village. Veterans quickly realize being a humanitarian has a healing quality.
The last time I was here, I was a soldier in the American Army. This time, I'm a civilian. Last time, I had to do bad things. This time, I'm doing good things with my friends.
So do these return trips to Vietnam work? Just ask Lance.
And guess what? It's never going to be solved. It's going to be a lifelong pursuit, but I just feel as though I've moved way down the road after this 2 weeks as compared to where I was, which was I had 4 blown out tires and I was teetering on the edge of a cliff. It's not there anymore. Now I've got 4 tires and I'm moving again.
Making Lance's second mission to Vietnam a successful one.
At long last, I've found her.